Proudly Arab, Bahrain has a population of more than 200,000, of which 85% are Bahrainis. People from more than 30 different countries make up the remaining 15%. This stable mixture of races, plus the use of English as the island's second language, makes Bahrain an unusually outward-looking state, a state with its eye constantly on international trade and understanding. Bahrain's internationalism is most obvious at the airport. It's the headquarters of Gulf Aviation, an airline that has been operating out of Bahrain for more than 20 years. Its aircraft range from this sophisticated BAC-111, providing fast modern air travel in the Gulf area, to light aircraft available on hire or charter and used mainly by the oil industry. They also operate F-27s, specially modified for freight as well as passenger work. In addition, Gulf Aviation provides airport services for the growing number of international airlines that have made Bahrain the center of their east-west routes. Each week, more than 60 international flights call here. 14 fly west to London and the rest of Europe. 7 go to the Far East and Australia. There are daily flights to India, Pakistan, and most Middle East countries. The airport is keeping pace with the accelerating development of aviation. The runway is being extended, ready for the arrival of the first Boeing 747 jumbo jets in 1971 at a cost of over £2 million. Bahrain, with its new network of taxiways and aircraft parks, will be the first airport in the Gulf fully geared for the jumbo jet age. New airport buildings costing an additional £4 million are already under construction. In them, 2 747s with a total of 700 passengers will be handled simultaneously. They will be serviced and ready for takeoff within 40 minutes of landing. Developments in the growing air freight field have not been forgotten. The new buildings will be equipped to unload containerized goods quickly for transshipment to other places in the Gulf by smaller aircraft. Bahrain is a natural entrepot for the rest of the Gulf, and this new deep-water harbor at Mina Sulman, which is being enlarged to take 8 ships at a time, is handling an ever-increasing portion of the area's trade. Mina Sulman is claimed, with justification, to be the most efficient port in the Gulf. There's no congestion, and delays are few and far between. Since it was opened in 1961, no surcharge has been imposed by shipping companies for cargoes landed. A tangible vote of confidence. Bahrain's hotel industry is being actively encouraged by the island's new tourist board. Hotels of international standard are being built to satisfy the growing demands from businessmen and tourists and the increasing use of Bahrain as a center for Middle East trade conferences. Plans for a major extension that will double the number of rooms available were being drawn up less than 12 months after the opening of the new Gulf Hotel. The hotel, which has 130 rooms, is owned half by Gulf Aviation and half by 700 local shareholders. Soon, these fishing boats will have moved to another anchorage. In their place, on land reclaimed from the sea, will rise the Bahrain Hilton. There will be room for 500 people, and Bahrainis will be training for responsible jobs long before the hotel is completed. Government House also stands on reclaimed land. People living nearby dubbed it the White House, as it rose gleaming from the sea. Built by Bahrainis, the Government House in many ways typifies the country's determination to be in the forefront of development and yet retain its own distinctive stamp. Government House is the center of the island's administration, and it's the meeting place of the State Council, under the presidency of Sheikh Khalifa bin Sulman Al Khalifa. The council is made up of all the heads of government departments, and it includes Bahrain's heir apparent, Sheikh Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa. Always high on the agenda at council meetings are ways of encouraging still more industrial development. Development which began in 1932 when a drilling rig owned by the Bahrain Petroleum Company, BAPCO, struck oil in the island's central desert. It was the first oil find in the southern half of the Gulf. In 1934, the first shipment of crude oil established the basis of a new and flourishing economy. A year later, work started on a 10,000-barrel-a-day refinery. Today, it's one of the largest refineries in the Middle East, with an output well over 205,000 barrels. It refines Bahrain's daily output of 75,000 barrels of crude oil, plus another 130,000 from Saudi Arabia. In the early days of the oil industry, experts came from other countries because they had skills the Bahrainis did not possess. Today, the expatriate technician is vanishing fast. 90% of Bapco's 5,000 employees are now Bahrainis. Given the chance to learn new techniques, they respond enthusiastically, and now they have become expatriate experts in other Middle Eastern countries. But the future depends on the island's children, and the government allocates more than a quarter of its budget to education. Bahrain has more than 100 schools and over 2,000 teachers. Almost a quarter of the country's 200,000 people are currently attending one of the free government schools. The average number of children in a class is less than 25. As well as skilled craftsmen, Bahrain's education system has produced engineers, lawyers, chemists, and doctors to help staff the island's hospitals. The free health service takes 22% of the national budget. It provides 90 doctors and clinics to serve outlying areas. But the island is a healthy place, and its advanced state of development made it the obvious choice as the site of the new Gulf Technical College. It's a regional college set up with the aim of producing young people qualified to play a major role in industry and commerce. There's room for 250 boys and 50 girls, with 50 places for boarders from other parts of the Gulf. All professional and technical subjects are taught in English. Satellite communications came to Bahrain as naturally as ships and aircraft. This £4 million satellite station, opened by Cable and Wireless in 1969, provides instant, high-quality communication with the rest of the world by telephone, telex, and telegram. Almost in the center of the oil field, within a few hundred yards of Bahrain's first historic oil find, stands another link in the country's communication chain. These giant dishes send and receive high-quality radio telephone messages over short ranges, linking Bahrain with other Gulf states. Soon, another £2 million investment program will link businessmen with the international subscriber dialing system. The operation of this complex communication system has meant using some of the most advanced electronic techniques in the world. But Cable and Wireless have found they can rely on the natural aptitude and dexterity of the Bahrainis. The company employs several hundred local people, and it has 4 training schools on the island. Bahrain's new £40 million aluminium smelter, being built on the east coast, will be the first major heavy industry in the Gulf area apart from oil. It's owned by an international consortium, Aluminium Bahrain, and the Bahrain government has a 27% holding. It will be one of the first industries to take advantage of Bahrain's huge field of natural gas. To feed the generators making the vast quantities of electricity needed for the smelting process, Bapco will provide each day more than double the present daily output of gas obtained from the North Sea. The smelter's initial capacity will be 90,000 tons, and most of the output will be for export. But the Bahrain government is encouraging the development of secondary industries based on the smelter. Already, there are plans for the production of aluminium powder in a factory sponsored by the government in conjunction with British and German companies. When the smelter is finished, it will have a staff of almost 1,000, but 2,500 men are needed during the construction stage. Local contractors are responsible for the bulk of the work, which is on schedule, and most of the supervision is carried out by Bahraini engineers working alongside specialists from all over the world. But some of the work for the smelter is being carried out at the DeLong Wimpy fabrication yard 10 miles away. About 300 Bahrainis work here under the supervision of local foremen, and since 1964 they've been demonstrating their engineering skills by building offshore drilling platforms and other major pieces of equipment for the oil industry. With the arrival of the supertanker, the yard has been moving into new fields. A recent $9 million contract was for a huge sea island for loading supertankers off the coast of Saudi Arabia.